Everyone tonight. It's a great night tonight to be here and enjoying us for after church experience. Tonight we're going to have a very wonderful woman of God that is going to teach us about some great things today. So I just want you to stay tuned and then start sharing and invite friends. We're going to discuss sensitive issue today about honoring and loving and knowing our limit as parent. And mostly our parent coming from different sort of backgrounds don't actually hold up their limits, and we see a lot of things happening. So tonight we're going to talk about honoring and then loving and also knowing our parent, knowing our limit as parent. So my guest today is a woman, as I mentioned, and then she's a resource person, very highly educated, and then she's going to join us soon, and then we're going to have a good discussion more and more today. So, PD time, just want you to keep sharing the link and then inviting others also to join in today. Yeah, so just keep sharing and also invite your friends to join as well. This is after church experience, and we're going to share our experience from church today. So, I want you to share the link. Just share the link to friends. Yeah, just share the link. As to join today. Yeah, you're highly welcome. Just make sure you keep sharing. And if you are not subscribed to our channel yet, kindly do subscribe to our channel. Or you keep sharing. It's and if you are not subscribed to our channel yet, kindly do subscribe to our channel. Yeah. God bless you so much. Yeah, so I want you to keep sharing the page. We just want for a short break. Yeah. the network is giving us a little bit hinge. And I would like you to share, invite a friend, call a friend, invite a friend to invite another friend to keep sharing the page for us today. And tonight is going to be a happy night because I had some series of comment that, oh, when are you going to bring a woman to preach? It seems like you are not being uh, so faithful to the women. So yeah, but today by the grace of God, I'm bringing a woman here, and she's going to join us soon, very shortly. But if you have not subscribed to our page, just go subscribe to our channel. It's NAPK Entertainment with the YouTube and the Facebook channel as well. And what I want you to do is, if you join us, kindly give your comment. We're going to read all your comments on our timeline. So don't hesitate. Just give up your comment on our timeline. Yeah, as we wait in anticipation. And also, I would like to open up your mind on something. This page is actually all round page. With the gospel, we do a lot of stuff. So what I would urge you to do is, as you are sharing the page also, you can also go and then listen to all our tapes. In fact, this is the 11th show that we are hosting today. And I would like you to go and listen to all our sermons. It's really great up there, and it's really powerful up there. So my guest is here already. So I wouldn't want to waste a lot of time. I want to uh, just go out there and bring her quickly. And you're going to see that wonderful woman of God. And I will introduce her as she comes. Yeah, Mrs. Entwi,
Prophet,
you are welcome.
thank you very much.
Yeah, we want to thank you so much for actually honoring our invitation today. In fact, your loyalty and your faithfulness is so overwhelming. Because I was supposed to bring you here last week, but something happened. And immediately I told you, like, oh, okay, I'll come. I'll come, definitely come this week. So, with a little bit introduction, I will say some part and then you continue the rest for us. Yeah, so I know Mrs. Ntwi BERKO to be a PhD student, or you are done already. That one she will finish it up herself. Yeah, and then she is really learned, and then what she is studying, and she was going to tell us all stuffs. And tonight she's going to speak to us about honoring and loving, knowing our limit as parent. Yeah, so Mrs. BERKO, you're welcome once again.
Thank you very much,
Yeah.
Prophet. And I want to apologize for being on and off.
Oh,
I had
that's
it
okay.
on my internet, but I'm here. And thanks so much for inviting me and for giving me this opportunity to share a little with everyone.
Mm.
And I want to also thank everybody for being present and making time for this. Yes. So, as Prophet said, today's topic is honoring and loving, knowing our limits as parents and as children. And to handle this topic, we are going to do it in few steps. So, first of all, we'll look at what are the differences between parents and children. And here, when I say children, I don't mean babies. I mean, we are all children, we are someone's child.
Mm.
And then, secondly, we'll consider some of the behaviors parents put up that children
Okay.
dislike.
Mm.
Then, and that we also look at what children do that parents dislike and the reasons behind it. Then finally, we are not just going to look at the problems, but we'll find ways that we can find a balance between parenting and being a child in a way that we honor each other and we can also show that we understand each other and we also love each other. So basically, that's what we are going to do today.
Wow. It's going to be really packed today. The way you've structured the thing, I know definitely we're going to have series of questions coming in about this whole thing because these are some of the day-to-day problems that we face as children. As you said, I'm somebody's child actually. I'm a child of my mom, so I have questions to ask my mom after this show, definitely. Yeah, so I will just leave everything for you to go ahead. But then you will tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you are Mrs. Entribeko, so definitely there is Mr. Entribeko somewhere that we don't know. So we would love to hear something little before you begin.
Okay, so as you said, Emisa Enchibeko. I'm married to Dr. Daniel Enchibeko, a very supportive, kind, loving, sweet man. We
Hmm.
are blessed with three wonderful kids,
Uh,
and I'm also a child of my mom, Miss Maria Amankwa, and I'm a PhD student at the University of Amsterdam.
okay.
Actually, I don't even know if I qualify to call a student because I've submitted everything. But yes, I'm a student. I focus on social sciences, so I look at how people relate with others. That's basically what my research was. And I looked
Okay.
at parenting, I looked at kinship, family relations,
Hmm.
marriage. I generally looked at well-being of people. So that's basically what I do. I fellowship at CCOM Amsterdam, and uh, yes, basically I could go on and on, but
Yeah,
I
definitely,
think this is the
definitely.
most important things that I
Hmm,
want to highlight. Yes.
definitely. All right. So let's begin straightforward with the topic as we seen it: honoring and loving, knowing our limit as parent. So I will just leave it for you to just begin the whole thing. But it won't take a while. If we have any question or there's any comment, I'll post them and read it for us.
Okay, thank you, Prophet.
You're
So
welcome.
first of all, I want to start that when one becomes a parent, you take on a role unlike any other.
Mm,
Even if you've been a babysitter before, a big brother, a big sister, a fabulous sweet uncle or auntie,
mm,
being a parent is very different. And being a parent is really multi-layered because first of all, as we I already said, you are someone's child yourself, and you have to also take care of someone else. And as a parent, you have so many roles. If you're a mother from pregnancy, you start to care for somebody with all the cravings, with all the mood swings and all that.
mm.
And even if you're a freelance, you are also involved. Sometimes you'll be asked to go and get cocoa in the middle of the night or get something that someone is craving for. So being a parent is really a multi-layered task, and it means caring for yourself, but also caring for others.
Mm.
Sometimes it's not just one, it may be two or three or four, as many as you can go. Yes. So um for us as Christians, we would want to understand parenting from the biblical perspective. So the biblical role of a parent is to be a good steward of the children God has placed into one's care.
Mm.
Parents have the responsibility to care for the spiritual, emotional, and physical well being of their children. And that sometimes parents, in as much as they have to care, there may be parents who are careless. It can also lead to abandoning their responsibilities, abandoning their roles. But as Christians, most of us have parents who care. And this care is seen in various ways, such as getting us accommodation, somewhere to lay our heads, clothes to wear, food to eat, and pay our school fees, give us some little allowances, and even shower us with some gifts. So these are some of the things that parents do. And every parent wants the child to succeed in whatever they do, in schooling, in their social life, in their spiritual life, and all that. So that's basically what a parent's role entails. When it comes to a child, then on the other hand, the child is supposed to be cared for. So it doesn't necessarily mean that a child is always a baby. As prophet, you rightly said, you are a child, and yeah, I don't know if you call yourself a baby. So it means that a child needs to be cared for so that they can grow up to be what God has for them, and they need the support. So the parents are there to give that support so that the child can grow well. So that means parenting is a lifelong journey, and because it's a lifelong journey, and before you become a parent, you don't get the chance. I mean, when we are even going to marry, we are privileged to get marital counseling, premarital counseling. But I don't know, but I've not come across many times that we've had parental counseling before you become a parent. So this journey, you have to learn a lot on your own, sometimes try and error and all those things. So sometimes parents do things that children don't like. And if you talk to many children, they would mention a lot of things that they think their parents are not are doing that they don't like. And some of them could be shouting when they have to talk to you or you do something, the way they will shout at you or yell at you, or sometimes some parents go to the extent of even cursing, say say words that are very, very, very deep, that connotes cursing. And some also punish, so they will give you punishment. It could be that you are beaten if you are lucky, or so you get forms of punishment, or you are restricted. So there are a lot of restrictions. They will say, don't go here, you cannot do this, you cannot hold your phone, you cannot do that. Or even put, if there is internet, they say you cannot have access to the internet, because these are some of the things that children don't like. And if you ask children, why don't we like such things? We will say that it brings us shame. Sometimes imagine you are with your friends and your mother just shouts on you that, oh my God, this is the mother I've been telling everybody is so sweet and all that. So you feel ashamed. Sometimes it also makes you doubt or think that your parents do not trust you, or your father or mother don't trust you, because they keep saying, don't do that, don't do that. It's like, but I will not do that. So you sometimes also feel that they don't trust you. Sometimes you feel very disrespected and feel you are overly good. Some things that you think you could do is taken away from you, or you see your friends or you see others doing it of the same age as you doing it, but you feel that you are overly controlled. And sometimes too, it takes away their privacy. So they feel like you are you are going so much into their private life. Yes. So now, I would like us to also see what are the reasons why parents may do certain things, may shout at us, may sometimes they feel that we are playing too much, we are not concerned in bad companies. And as Christians, most of us, as we know, our parents want us to also live a godly life, to have a life that is very exemplary. So as Psalm 1:1 says, "Blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the wicked, or stand in the way of sinners, or sit in the seat of mockers. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and on his law he meditates day and night." So most parents want us to reflect on God's word, to live a life that is exemplary, to show that we are indeed from a Christian home or a Christian background. So sometimes that also influence why they do that. And they're also afraid that you will end up being in the hands of bad friends, or will over socialize and then end up being in bad company, or we will not pay attention to our books, or will hide things from them. So they, all that the parents also do, they do it out of love, because they want to protect us, they care for us. And the Bible says, "A wise son makes a glad father, but a foolish son brings grief to his mother." So it's because our parents don't want to grieve. They want to be proud of us. And that's why they always want to direct us. And sometimes the way they direct us might not be the way we want it, or might not be as we envisage. But that is what they know how to do. And that's why we have to all work hand in hand to make things better, so that we show that we love them, we also honor them. For example, when I became a mother, I never considered that it would be so emotional. And when my son or my daughter is crying, sometimes I cry. When they are sick, sometimes I feel like I wish I could take the bed. So just have to know that they do it out of love, and parenting itself is emotional, is emotionally involved, and is intertwined with the emotions of our parents. And they do these things so that they can influence the future of their children, so that they do not jeopardize the gains that they've made. Sometimes your parents have done so well, have taken you to a certain level, and they think you can move to another level, and where you are going will bring you down. They don't want you to go down, they want you to climb the ladder. So that's the reason why they do that. But then it can also lead to misplaced priorities, because sometimes I want this, my mother wants this, my father wants this, and it can bring um but then there is a story in the Bible I think is very important for us to know, that no matter how things are, we have parents, godly parents, who will be there. And I know that it doesn't always go that way. Sometimes you will be a Christian yourself, but you may not be lucky to have a godly father or a godly mother. Or you may be a Christian, but your daughter or son may not understand the godly path. But the parable of the prodigal son is very strong here. It tells us a lot about how parenting is. So in Luke 15:11-32, Jesus tells about the father who gives lavishly to both of his sons. One goes off to live foolishly, and the other stays home resentfully. It's not his lavishly giving money and things that make him a good father. What makes him a good father is that he gives of himself so lavishly. He gives himself of lavishly. So your parents can give everything that they have, but if you money wise and all that, but giving themselves their time, their attention, and all that makes them great fathers or great mothers. And that we have to also keep in mind that all the verses that apply to parenting in the Bible are not always obvious. Just because a verse doesn't say mothers, fathers doesn't mean it doesn't apply to parenting. There are a lot of biblical verses, chapters that talks to us as parents. So as a parent, you take on many roles like leader, teacher, counselor, mentor, many others. So when scripture speaks to a mentor, speaks to a teacher, speaks to a leader, speaks to a counselor, it can also help you with your parents. It can help all of us with our parents. And we as children too can learn something from that. So at this point, I'll say, how can we as parents and children live in a way that we show that we are honoring and loving each other? So that it will not be like it's just one way. I have to honor my father, I have to honor my father. But my
Uh,
father has to.
if I may ask this, you said sometimes parents want us to be good people and be having maybe good future, as you said. So sometimes they try to shape us, and we don't take care to cause misplacement of priorities, if I may be right.
Yes.
Yeah, can you explain that a little bit? What you meant by misplacing of priorities?
So sometimes you see, maybe I like to go and play drums at church, and mommy wants me to go to classes and learn my books. So maybe I go too much to go and play the drums. Maybe it's every day. And mommy wants me to go to also to go to school every day. So because she thinks when I go to school, for example, I'll become a doctor and come and take care of her, she might be looking at that. Not that she doesn't love that I play the drums, but it's because she thinks that should be the main priority. I also think that this is what I love, and it could even become a career for me. So at this point, then if both of them do not come and sit down and see how to handle it, the maybe the child can even not even will just stop the drumming or will be following friends. And even in my studies, for example, I realized how people will start keeping secrets from their parents. So I'm going for drums, but I'll say I'm going to read my books with prophets. But actually, I'll not go to the church, because the church, you will know that I'm at the church, because you this is the church you also go. So it end up you might the priority was that you become a great person. Your future career is being, we are guiding you to get it, but then you may end up not doing what you love, or lying to your mother and taking another path altogether. So then what is it? Something is lost there. So it's, if it's not handled very well, it can bring different outcomes, and people will take different directions, which can actually affect them and affect their parents as well.
I think it's well understood now,
Okay.
so you can move on.
So at this point, we think about some of the things that we can do to enhance the way we relate with our children and we relate with our parents. And one of the most important things is to what? To learn to talk, to learn to, like the analogy I was giving, learn to explain ourselves. Sometimes as parents, we feel that we have the experience, we've been through what our children may not have gone through. So we have the best of experience to share. But sometimes it's good to talk to the person and let the person know why your opinion goes this way. It's tilted a bit differently from the person. And so they too can also talk. It's not, it shouldn't be that because I'm the father or mother at home, it's all me, 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 me. And if you don't build it from a certain stage and it reaches another a level that it becomes difficult to straighten, like if you have a tree and it's tilting and it's tilting and you don't start, and all of a sudden you try to straighten it, the whole tree will fall with all the roots and the branches and everything. You cannot do anything about it. And so it has to start from the beginning, where we talk. Sometimes what the person is saying, you don't agree, but listen, there will be something in there that can really help you understand why the person is doing it. Because before you can even make any input, if you don't understand the person, how do you go ahead with it? So we have to communicate, we have to learn to talk, we have to say the little things, because we don't have to wait for it to be very big before we talk about it. And another thing that I realized is that when we don't talk about things from the beginning, it leads to mistrust, it leads to misunderstanding, it leads to secrecy. And this becomes a problem when it comes to honoring and loving someone, because you cannot love someone who lies to you. As much as you want to, you doubts in your head, and you want another person based on what you know, and sometimes it creates problems for us. So there should be dialogue. So in as much as you listen, you sometimes you have your own idea about what is going on. You have to stop and listen. Always prompt yourself as a parent or as a child, let me listen what mommy or daddy is saying, might have some good for me. Because if we start from a premise that, oh, this person she doesn't know what's up, she's not as cool as I am and all that, then it becomes difficult. And it's also good to share. Share. It doesn't. Last time I was watching a movie with my husband, and there was this child. The mother was telling her the things she wants her to do, and she was honest with the mom to tell her that I will not go to my auntie because my auntie is like. And I was like, wow, that's nice, because in as much as the mother will not be happy about it, she's being honest about it to tell her that I will not go, and explaining herself. Then the mother is also aware how to handle it. But if we do not really share about why we don't want to do things, and we don't open up about it, then it also hinders it. And sometimes as parents too, it's difficult. You feel like you don't want your children to live the way you lived when you were their age, because probably you've gone through certain difficult times, certain experiences that you feel can have a bad impact on them. But it is also good that as parents you observe. Sometimes the fact that when you were going for, you lied that you're going to choir practice doesn't mean that your daughter is also lying that she's going to choir practice. So if you observe, it also helps. Because sometimes we base on our own experience and we think, oh, me say me yes also be ebiana me nyɛ saa na akwaraa no no so ɔyɛ den ɔredwɛn. And then there is the need to also discuss people's expectations. Obiara wɔ deɛ ɛda n'akoma so a ɔpɛ. Everyone and their expectations. Nti in as much bi a mepɛ sɛ meyɛ prophet adamfo. Ebi a prophet kora mpɛ sɛ meyɛ n'adamfo. So we have to discuss and know each person's expectations, because the way we bring up our children can leave scars on them. It can leave certain memories. It can give some people, it becomes difficult to get out of the experiences they've had as children, experiences they've had with the way they were their parents even handled them. And sometimes if the parents, you are lucky to have two parents, the father and mother at the same time, sometimes the way the parents also relate also has a very huge influence on how children also are brought up, and how they understand life, and how they even live their Christian life. So sometimes it's talking, but sometimes it's also about our actions, what we say and what we don't say at home. how we even relate with each other. And if you say I have to be loving and all that, and I see that mommy doesn't respect daddy, daddy doesn't respect mommy, and all those, so the children, as much as we are observing, they are also observing us, and they are seeing things that they are learning. So it's not just the talking. We see, we watch, we look, we are careful about what you say. So we we are not just listening to what our parents are saying, but we are seeing what they are doing, and it has, it leaves that scar on us. It can be a good one, it can be a bad one, and it can even affect our confidence, can even affect how we relate with other people. And then it's as parents to be able to relate very good with our children, we need to also know their friends. This is very difficult, especially now that many of us have a lot of friends on social media. So it's not even only friends that you see who can visit, or the friends they have in school. They have friends all over. They are learning from friends on social media and all that. But it's important to know the immediate friends. It's important to know the people your child relates with, so that you know what they like to talk also about. And in that way, we are able to draw and know that the child knows that you are showing interest in their personal life. You are showing interest not just in their academic and spiritual, but in their social lives as well. So to avoid our children from shying away from talking to us, we have to also open up to them. We have to also show them that we've been children before. So, for example, me, I I would use my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law is a Church of Pentecost, very involved woman, and I used to have this perception that she's not cool. But when I started talking to her, I knew that she knew WhatsApp more than I knew. She's so friendly, she's so nice, she's so sweet. So sometimes we as children too, we need to also open up, because I'm used to, we have a lot of perceptions about our parents. Hey, Pentecost deaconess. Hey, prophet. Hey, so like we have that kind of perception there that it makes it difficult for us, but we should know that humans, probably they live the lives we want to live. They understand what is going on. They also read, they watch television, they know what is really going on. So if we calm down, if we give them the chance to also express themselves, and if we are also open about it, we will be surprised the things they know and how cool and sweet and lovely they can be. So it goes both hands. And recently I was looking at a TikTok video, challenge that some children are doing with their parents, and then they will start making up stories like my mom was a prostitute, and then their mothers will be like what and all that, and it ends up being so nice, like a nice moment for them to talk about a lot of things. So I think this is a nice opportunity for us as children to also open up to our parents, to give them the chance to talk to us about cool stuffs. There are so many things that we think our friends know, but our parents, our fathers and mothers know as well. But sometimes they are also shy. They don't know how to raise such topics. They don't know how to deal with it. But when we all find a balance, then we can build upon it and talk about it nicely.
All right, Doc. I would like to ask a question here. Let me say I lived with my parents for some couple of years, and then I trust them. I don't. I did. My parents are very decent, and then I see them to be very decent. I don't know their past. Then maybe when I'm growing up, I started misbehaving, and one day my mom or my dad said, this thing that you're doing, I've done some before. Like it will be like a shock to me. Also, I can also say, oh, if my parent did some, then fine, me too. Let me do some so that I can make my own mistakes and then correct my own errors and stuff. How do I deal with this issue? Is it not going to cause mistrust between my parent and myself?
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't take one day. And if your mother or father at the first step even tells you I've done this before, know that they trust you and they are also thinking of you before saying that, because you haven't known them like that, but they have been themselves to a very vulnerable situation to tell you about a past that you don't know of. They brought it up. And they want you to learn from it. It's a mistake, probably a mistake or an experience they repeat. Don't say you want to learn it. Sometimes mistakes, there is no need for you to also go and learn it. Now one the way we look at it should be that the person has shown the vulnerability. What shows I can be this, I can be that, I have gone through this. It is not the best, and I know how I've gone. We said you are even fortunate to get someone who will share with you the consequence of doing that. So I think that for me, I'm more interesting and more uh, feel like this person is being so honest with me, and it can open doors depending on how you also handle. That's why I keep saying that it's not one person. If you don't also handle it very well, next time no one is going to tell you their story. And imagine you are staying with the home and your father told you one story, and because of that you don't get the chance more about him, more about how he lived his life and all. So maybe this would be the way you handle it, would be the chance to even hear more stories, to even hear more advices, to even be able to help you to decide on what you want to do next.
I think that is really laudable. Because as you said, if my father calls me and tells me that, oh, this is what I did before earlier on, and I see you're going to do the same thing, it's because he trusts me. That is why he's telling me that, and that is really a very good point that I think we can learn lessons from that as children and as kids as well, as we are still growing up every day. Yeah, definitely. So I want to say thank you so much. I think you can go on. We have some few time left. Let me see. Yeah, we have some few moments left that you can really go on with it. Yeah.
So where you ended from, that your father told you, it's also a way of thinking together with you. So when someone tells you a story, they have a reason behind it. They want to plan and think together with you. So if you don't handle it well, it may end up not going the way they planned it. And it may also go the other way. So it's always good that you talk, okay, why are you telling me the story? So as we live with our parents, as we live with our children, sometimes the stories they tell us, it's not just for the fun of it that they are saying it. They are saying it based on something. So when we listen very good and we probe further and we ask questions, and we also sometimes when you are telling a story and obiara de ho akora wonka story ni bi, but if oh na yeah then oh so oh aha until now when was this now I'm a nipa no cry the story the person is saying, he feels like oh you want to know, and tomorrow I can tell you more. But if I'm saying it and you are behaving like you know everything, then maybe the person will not continue, because we are dealing with very different people, and obiara ne the way I will see ehu ade any the way obefa asem. As parents too, we have to know what our children love to do so that we can channel their energies, especially if we see that they love to maybe go football. Sometimes it would just be nice to go with them and talk about it. Maybe a football, not whilst talking about football, something else would come up: friends, school life, sex life, what I've heard here, what I want to do, plans. So it's not just that we have to sit and talk. Sometimes, whilst doing things, other important parts of our lives becomes um come to bear. So we have to learn to channel our energies, channel each other's energy. If you are also a child and you want to build a good relationship with your father, and you know your father like football, when they are watching and maybe he supports Chelsea like I do, you can support him and then you talk about it. And then it brings other stories and you get to know each other more. And you can talk about other things that maybe if you go directly, you may not be able to raise. And for parents, we have to also know that no matter what our children are learning from elsewhere, they are learning from social media, they are learning from friends, they are learning from books, they are learning all sorts of things. They are learning about sex, they are learning about whatever you can think of. So if you don't channel their energies, you don't help them, you don't other things and get to know what they know and know what you can build on and what you can correct. Maybe they are learning something very wrongly, and that can affect your relationship at home because the thing they are doing you don't like. So you keep yelling, shouting, don't do this, punishment, and it will keep bringing conflicts.
All right, I have this question that popped up, I think, from a group while watching. So I'll read it directly as it is for you. The person said, I have a question, definitely. So he said, is it a good idea to be friends with their children on social media platforms? That is one. So assuming I have a child, and as you were saying that it's not friends, only friends who visit in the house. So how can I be friends with my? Is it okay? The person is asking, is it good to be friends with your friend, yours, your children's friends on social media? And even if it is good, how can I be friends with them? Because maybe he has about 2,000 friends, and I can, yeah, definitely. So, example like me, I have about 2,000 friends on Facebook, and some of them I don't even know them. Saying what my parents want to be friends with them anyway. How are we going to take that?
Interesting. So, in as much as it's good as parents to know your children's friends so that you know which ones they can plant with and which ones you need to help uproot. There are some friends you know they are, I mean, for example, Facebook. Some people have up to 5,000 friends. So, if you have five children and they all have 5,000 Facebook friends, are you going to follow all of them or what? So you just have to know which who are close, who are very close. Even that it doesn't mean you have to be friends to them per se, but you have to know the friends, the kind of friends, the way they behave, the way they talk, when they even come to your home or when your child even you can even be asking from your child a little about if you have trust issues, then maybe you can go ahead and look on their pages. But I wonder how many children you can look on their friends, because imagine if you have three kids and they all have 2,000 friends, you can't do that. So know those who are close, those that, because there are some who are just, I mean, classmates, they even met randomly or something. So I for me, from my little experience, it's not worth it. You can be friends with your child on Facebook if they want. Some children don't like it, and you have to also know the child you are dealing with, because if they see that you are also being too nosy and doing, they will find other ways. And I recently wrote a paper on secrecy and how the youth are finding ways of keeping secrets in varied ways and finding other people to help them keep those secrets. So it's also about building trust and finding few people that you think are very close. You can't, as a parent, you can't do all. So sometimes what I would just say is that do your best, committed to Christ, pray about it. Yes, and talk to your child. If
Wow.
there is the need, seek help. If you really see that you can't do it.
Wow, I think you've said it all. Again, I think I'll read the second one. He says, "Is it all in the effort of knowing your children, or possibly?" I'm thinking that the person will be like, "Oh, is it monitoring your child? Like maybe I want to see, person maybe I'm a man like it's not about monitoring them, or it's just about knowing them." And again, won't the child feel
Well,
intimidated if he or she realize that the mother is trying to be a monitoring spirit?
I like the word monitoring spirits. I think when it gets to a certain point, it becomes a monitoring spirit indeed. But I think as parents, it's good that you know your child. Sometimes, if you have doubts, then you can monitor. But if there is no cause to keep monitoring when you don't have doubts, and if you only have doubts, you only monitor when you have doubts, and even that, try other means of finding it, because sometimes when you overly do certain things, it rather draws your children away from you. It creates mistrust, and it makes people, your child, feel like I have to keep secrets, I have to find a way to keep my life private, because this woman or this man is so to say a monitoring spirit.
As well. Then we've gone way a little bit close to our time. So maybe I will let you pause here and we're going to have you again uh, with time so that you can finish it up for us. I know there's still a lot to say, and our time is almost up already. So I will let you wrap up today's session, and then we will try and have you back again. By the grace of God, we will, you know you are so busy, but then this time I will pull you so strong and bring you back again to finish it for us. Yeah, so you may wrap up and then maybe say a little hi, or maybe if you have some greetings to friends, especially your husband, Dr. BERKO. I know that one you cannot say you will not greet him. So definitely.
Okay,
Uh,
thank you very much. I would like to end with a passage from the Bible, a verse. The Lord disciplines those whom He loves.
mm,
So, as children, when our parents, that's from Hebrews 12, verse 6.
mm.
When our parents discipline us, it's out of love. And
Wow.
if out of love we take this discipline, we would be able to also correct certain things, talk about things, open up to them, so that we do not also provoke our parents, so that our parents also do not provoke us. So
Wow.
this is what I want to say. And I would like to say hello to my sweet Daniel. And
Mm.
I know you are watching, and to my kids, and to all CCOM members. Yes.
Well, God bless you so much. And then to all our listeners, to God bless you. And those who are watching us from the background, to God bless you so much for joining us today. Those who are not able to join, those who are hearing us to from other media forms, God bless you too for participating. We're going to have Mrs. Entrebeko, Dr. Mrs. Entrebeko, once again to finish up this for us, because I know there are questions in the mind of many people. And I couldn't read all the questions, but I'll read them maybe the next time we meet. That is going to be a week after today. A week after. That means next 2 weeks. We're going to meet next 2 weeks again, and it's going to be really fantastic. It's really good having you, and I really appreciate your time. God bless you so much.
God bless you too. Thanks so much for inviting me.
You're welcome. See you.
Good.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, so we want to say thank you to all of you for participating on tonight's program. It is so marvelous and so great to have a woman of God in our midst. We want to bless you. I can see somebody shared, Deborah. God bless you so much for sharing, and I really appreciate it for you sharing this page as well. And also, God bless everyone. In fact, those sending WhatsApp messages, direct messages to my line, God bless you. And also, those watching from other media platforms, from Facebook, and then you much for being partaker of today's program. We're going to meet once again next 2 weeks. And then next week, there is going to be an interview section. And I would like you to join in and listen to some of these wonderful men of God who will share their experiences with us on this interview session. On Fridays, we have DJ Nanake, who is also going to come with a nice group of music from both contemporary Christian song and then other songs as well. So make time and listen to DJ Nanake on the platform, the groove. And as well, again, Saturday is going to be live worship right from the studios in the UK and in North America. So try and then join us. We are coming your way from Netherlands today, and then we will urge you to keep watching and keep sharing, keep liking, and keep subscribing to the page as well. So until we meet again next 2 weeks, we say God bless you. And in the faith family, we said faith never dies. See you once again. Bye bye.